So let's go ahead and without further ado, get started here. So I've already introduced myself. I'd like to also introduce our social media communications officer, Christine Skiffington. Christine, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Aaron. I'm happy to be here.
So what we're going to be doing is taking you guys through Facebook for about the next 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on your questions that we have towards the end. This is a look at the agenda we're going to go through. Basically, in the beginning, we're going to talk about the overall definitions of social media, what that means, give you a nice baseline to draw from, and then move on to a basic social media strategy and what you can do to help grow your audience and to also make sure that you're doing everything as effective as possible. Christine's going to talk a lot about Facebook, how it's right for your business, if it's right for your business, setting up a page, developing good content, and then also we're going to get into some applications you can use and finally wrap up with some resources that will work really well for you. So, in general, what is social media? For some people, it might sound a little bit scary. When you first look at it, Twitter, Yelp, Facebook, LinkedIn, there's all these different avenues that you can use to help grow your audience. But it's really nothing more than using a web-based technology to help communicate, to create more interactive dialogues. You can think of it just like email. I remember back when I got my first email address, it was 1997. I had no idea why I needed it. If I had a question for my professor, I would ask him in class or go to his office hours. If I needed to get any test scores back, I would just get them directly from him. So I didn't really understand why I needed it. But now, 14, 15 years later, it would be impossible to even think that we would live without email, right? Mm-hmm. So the number one reason to really get involved in social media is that your customers expect you to be there. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're in these social media spheres, and they want to see you there. They want to, have an open and a transparent conversation with you, and that's really what this is. It's another way for you to communicate with them on their level, in their environment that they prefer, and you want to make sure you stay away from sales pitches and things like that. That's something we're going to talk a little bit more about. And final point, which is really good, if social media use isn't common in your industry, that's great. So you're going to be one of the first people into it. You're going to be able to grow your market share a lot quicker as far as the social media sphere goes, and this is something that's perfect for you. So taking a look at the social media strategy, you really want to start off at the very top of this diagram. You really just want to start off listening, figuring out what people are talking about, maybe what your competitors are doing, what other people in your industry is doing, sites that you like, pages that you like. Just kind of be a little bit of what we would call a lurker. Kind of hang out, see the situation, figure out what's going on, and then after you feel comfortable, go ahead and join. Whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, you want to join, get everything set up, and then you start the engagement process. This is a little bit about, I would say we're going to talk a little bit about the engagement process more than anything today. How can you really engage people in these social media settings? Finally, setting up a network. Once you set up your network, it's managing your network, it's figuring out how you can use it effectively, and then that goes right back into listening. So you can see here the overall strategy. I kind of talked through most of this. Listen, look at what people are doing in your industry, common trends, writing style, things like this, get some good ideas. Figure out what you want to do as far as joining on different platforms, engage, whether that's posting or answering questions or discussing and commenting. Build your network, add fans, ask your readers to participate. A good way to do this is if you have an email newsletter set up right now, make sure you're including your Facebook links, your Twitter links in on that, even your business cards, whatever it might be, whatever communication you have, make sure you're driving people to those pages, and then finally you're using tools to help you be more effective or managing it. So what we're going to do now is take a little poll, kind of figure out where everybody's at as far as Facebook as a personal page. So if you could, you should see now a poll in front of you, and if you could just select whether you're currently using Facebook personally. So we want to know if you're using it for yourself, and then the next question we're going to try to figure out is if you're using it for your business. So looks like we've got pretty much everybody already voted. And we'll go ahead and close that out. And you can take a look at the results here. And this is kind of what we expected. You can see the results here. 90% of our attendees today are currently using Facebook on a personal basis, which is great. So everybody's already familiar with it. Now let's take a look at what you're doing for your business. So this is the second poll that we have. If you could, just take a look. This is basically if you have a Facebook page for your business, get a little bit of feedback here to figure out where the audience is overall. All right, and we'll go ahead and close that one out too. Looks like we've got just about everybody. Okay, and this is great. So we've got 58% of people that currently do not have a Facebook page at all for their business. This is going to be perfect for you to kind of understand what exactly you can do and to help you get you set up. Anyone that currently does have a Facebook page, I think you're also going to get a lot from this webinar to understand what the next steps might be for you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look now. Let's go back to the presentation. And Christine, walk us through the basics.
Okay, so we did the opening, Aaron did the opening with some general social media strategy information, and you're going to see that cross over to everything, and a lot of the basic principles can be repeated for any of these social networks. And we're going to continue coming back to communication being the basis of it. But about Facebook, I mean, like we said, 90% of you are using it for personal use, so you know there's more than 600 million users worldwide on Facebook, and if it was a country, it'd be the world's third largest. So that's pretty incredible. The average U.S. Internet user spends over 7 hours per month on Facebook, and that's more than Google, Yahoo, YouTube, Microsoft, Wikipedia, Amazon combined, it's really pretty amazing.
That's unbelievable.
I think. I mean, a lot of companies are putting money into online advertising and things like that, and you see, this is really incredible. That if you're not on Facebook, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. So, yeah, even a quarter of all display ads in the U.S. in 2010. That's all advertising combined, including billboards, magazines, everything.
Which is unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, if you really think about where things have moved in the past 5 years, everything was search engines. So it was all search engine marketing. It was all people were spending their time on search engines, finding information. It's where they were starting. But I know even for myself, I mean, my internet, the homepage, the first page that I open up is Facebook. I mean, it opens up directly to there where it used to be Google. So I think you're seeing that trend even more now, which is pretty amazing.
So is Facebook right for you? We say definitely. Absolutely. Your customers are there, and they expect you to be there. So why not go for it? There's more interaction with your customers. You want to expand the reach of your business through word of mouth. Anybody who wants to increase sales, of course, it's a great idea to be on Facebook. And for SEO, if you're not, that's, like we say here, an internet marketing strategy. It's going to improve your visibility, for example, on Google. Google recognizes that Facebook is relevant to your business and automatically ranks your page pretty high.
Okay.
So if somebody's just doing a basic Google search for your business, maybe you need a little bit more SEO work on your website. It's not up there in the first page of search results, but your Facebook page could be there.
Yeah, I think that's always is something really important. I mean, search engine optimization, we hear a lot of customers talk about that. Everybody's interested in showing up on the first page of Google, of course. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. It's an easy way to hopefully someone will find your site on Facebook or your page on Facebook through a search, and then they'll go to that page, and then hopefully in the end they'll go to your website. So in the end, you're driving traffic to your website. Great. I think it's a really great strategy.
So what do you need to start a business page? First of all, a personal Facebook account. It's good because 90% of you already have that. If you don't have a personal Facebook account, just go to facebook.com and set one up. It's definitely worth it. And another question we always get is who should create and administer the page? And what's really important with that is, as a business owner, you should probably be an admin for your Facebook page. But if you don't do it yourself, that's fine, but put somebody in charge of it that's well connected to your business, knows the ins and outs, isn't a flight risk, and they're not going to they're not going to disappear anytime soon.
Yeah.
And it's even better to have more than one administrator for the account, just in case somebody decides to leave the company or for whatever reason. You want to make sure that you always have access to your page.
Okay, yeah, and I think just like a quick example, I've got this really small bakery down by me in Conshohocken. We're right outside of Philadelphia, and you know, they do such a fantastic job of marketing on their Facebook page. I just happened, you know, I had a friend that liked them, so I went and checked it out. I mean, they post pictures of the pies that they've got, of the cookies and treats and stuff. And I mean, for me, I've gone there specifically because I've seen something on their Facebook page that just looked fantastic. And I mean, there's no way I've ever would have gone to their website. So the way that things spread virally through Facebook, it's really unbelievable. I mean, they have, I think they're over like 2,000 or 3,000 followers or fans, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, it's just a great way for them to drive traffic not only to their website but directly to the store for someone to make a purchase.
Absolutely, and this Facebook is really fantastic for local businesses. It's definitely helpful with that. They also have a places aspect of it, so from a local side of things, if you can really reach your audience. But not just that, I mean, it works for internet startups too. If you don't have a brick and mortar business, you can still do a lot with Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
And the next thing you should have when you go into making your Facebook page is you should always have a goal, because that's kind of where you get stuck. You know you want to have a Facebook page, you create it, and then what? You know, it's good to have that goal when you're going into it.
Yeah. And what kind of goals would you recommend?
It could be anything. Your goal could be, what do you want to do with Facebook? What do you like to do? Are you trying to just be there? Do you want to have a goal of getting so many sales from it, or do you just want to have a certain particular number of fans? Yeah. Do you want to send a certain amount of posts or messages to your audience per week or month? It could be really, it's anywhere that works for your business. You know your business best, and so that goal is really what feels right for you. And
I think that makes sense. I mean, if you just say, oh, I'm just gonna go out there and use Facebook as a communications tool, that's fine. But if you it's just like exercising or dieting or anything else that takes you know, some type of strategy. You want to go in and say, all right, I want to post 2 things a week. And that's fine, right? I mean, you can start off with something simple like that and then get up to, I mean, I see people, you know, some people overshare, but, you know, you see some businesses that are like, you know, 5, 10, whatever, 15 posts a day, right?
Yeah, you definitely do see that. I think 15 posts a day is a little bit ambitious. I think that's a little bit too much. Yeah. I would recommend probably to start out at 1 or 2 posts a week and then work your way up from there to what feels, again, comfortable for you. You'll see how your audience reacts to your posts too, and you'll get a better idea of then how many posts per day or per week works for your business.
Cool.
I know you know your business. You know you have cool stuff to talk about. You may have trouble. We're going to talk a lot about the type of content that works right for Facebook, how to create that content. But no matter what the business is, you absolutely should have stuff to talk about. There's lots of ways to go with that.
Yeah.
And it really only takes a few minutes every day. You can create these things really quickly. So if you haven't created your page yet, you can go to Facebook to create the page. It comes up, looks like this. You just pick out your type of business and then enter your information. You click on company. You want to click,
right. So
just click on that for an example. You just pick a category, enter your company name. It's really simple, only takes a few minutes. And then just go through the process there, get started. One of the things you want to think about here is when you're creating the name, you want to create a name that works best for your business, and be selective, because you can only do it once, or else you have to start completely over from the beginning. You want to pick a name that's either the same as your business name or the same as your website, something that's easy to find. You want to keep it short and search friendly so people can find you. And definitely create a unique username for the page. You can do that at facebook.com/yourname.
Okay.
That's what makes the username. For example, ours is facebook.com/1and1. It makes it really easy to find and it looks nice on your marketing material, easy to put out there. That's also an option on the page when you get in there. So once you set up your page, should we show the 1and1 Facebook page?
All right.
This is what our page is looking like right now. Once you set up your page, it'll be all blank initially. And it works pretty much the same as your personal Facebook page. That's one of the great things that Facebook recently changed about their pages, is that they're all looking and functioning as close to a personal page as possible now. So it's basically the same thing. I guess 90% of you have a Facebook for your personal use. You just click what you want to update there in your status. You can add anything you want. Of course, put in your information. That's one of the very important things when you first set up your page, is to add your information on the side there. Yeah.
Oh, right here, okay.
We also have a contact form, which is we found to be really great for our Facebook page. We always want to give people a way to contact us. Of course, they can also comment on the page, and we'll get right back to them as soon as possible. Upload any kind of pictures, things like that. Facebook Notes is also available for pages. If you have something a little bit longer than a few sentences, suggest to put it in a note.
And a note is Facebook Notes is basically like what a blog used to be, right?
Right. It's kind of like a blog.
Okay. So you can just go and you can type any type of information in, longer articles, things that you want, like white papers, things like that, and then people can just go and check it out. Yeah, I mean, it seems the wall, everything seems so familiar, and for 90% of everyone out there, it should be pretty familiar. But I think across the top, you've got all your share options. This is the image or picture, whatever you want to have as far as your profile, or for this instance, it would be your page would go. Yeah, and then so it looks like we also have other admins too, and then this is something that's important, right?
Yes, we have a few admins for our page. A couple people always monitoring it. We have people watching our page at all different times of the day. But for your business, and especially when you're just getting started, you don't have to do that, but just have more than one admin. So that the first person who sets up the Facebook page will always be an admin. So you can't remove them if they leave the company. That's why we always suggest that it's somebody that's very connected to the company.
Okay.
So that you don't lose your page. And if you click their edit page in the right-hand corner, that's where all the other options for your page will be. So what I would also suggest when you're first setting up your page is to hide it so that only admins can see the content. And you can click right here so that only admins can see the page until you're ready to publish your page for everybody, until it's fully set up. When you have your information and everything on there, I suggest to hide it so only admins can see it, just because you want to give people the full effect.
Yeah, you don't want to launch and have it kind of, half the content up there. You want to be ready to go, have it finished, so that when someone sees it, they see the complete project.
Yeah, because you might think that it's not a big deal, but people are probably searching for your business on Facebook. Someone's going to find you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right away as soon as that page is available. Yeah. So let's talk about the type of content you want to put up there a little bit.
Okay.
And anything, again, like we said, your business best, but you want to share your latest news and events. You can be incredibly creative with Facebook. You can put anything up there. It's stuff that you wouldn't normally put on your website. It's really personal. It could be personal. It could be anything that gives more of a personality to your business, so that you're not just a building, or you're not just, if you're an internet startup, you're not just your website. There's really something going on there. And special promotions and sales are all things that people are interested in reading. There's tons of companies that are giving special promotions just to their Facebook fans. And that's another great way to increase your fans and to give people something back for visiting your page. And it's okay to share links and reference sites that you didn't create. Anything that you think might be relevant to people who like your business, that's what you can put up there. I mean, there's a lot of ways that you can go with that.
And I think just to jump in, I think that's probably a great way to start off because everyone, I say everyone, but most people are using the internet to find articles, to find some type of information that you find interesting. More often than not, you're looking up information that's specific to your company or your industry. So if you think something's interesting, I'm assuming people who are going to your Facebook page will probably think that that's interesting too. So that's kind of an easy way to kind of dip your toe in the water. Maybe you don't want to, you don't know exactly what to write or what to create as far as the status goes, but you know, that's a nice way to at least put some content out there. And just because you didn't create it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You're definitely allowed to use that.
Absolutely. Yep. And you can talk about anything new, even if it's just how you're feeling right now. You know, so especially like you use the example of that bakery the bakery near you. Say you have a bakery and you think, oh wow, this smells really good today.
Yeah.
It smells great. It's a beautiful spring day. I'm going to open my door. How about you walk, stop down?
Yeah, I mean,
just walk right in.
There's another local restaurant, and they've got this massive window in the front. And on nice days, they open up the window, and that's always one of the first things they post to their Facebook page is like, windows open today. We've got a beer special from 3 to 5. I mean, that's perfect. So it's relevant to people that are interested in your business. It's timely, and it's fun. It's something that you couldn't put on your website because odds are no one's going to go to your website, or they don't have an RSS feed to see what's being changed on your website. Anytime you're posting something, if someone likes your business, then that automatically shows up in their news feed. So it's basically like pushing an email out to them, but a lot less intrusive because they've told you, hey, I like your business. It's cool if you send me information. So I mean, that is kind of in the end, what you want to achieve by doing this is that you're having a conversation. And a lot of times it's two ways. So they're going to comment, oh, my God, that's great. I get off work at 5 o'clock. Can't wait to come over. It's going to be fantastic. Something like that. It just makes it a lot more interactive.
Yes, indeed. And you can also ask your fans for suggestions and things like that. You can learn a lot from the people who are following you on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have 6 basic rules for Facebook content, just to take something away from this all. Is add new content regularly, at least once a week. I suggest especially when you're starting out, don't do more than 4 posts a day because it overwhelms people. If that's all they're seeing in their news feed, then they might not follow your posts anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to turn people off from it.
Yeah.
Make sure it's relevant to your audience. It's anything your customers want to know, but I mean, it can't be just any random thing.
Yeah, you want to kind of keep it interesting to them.
Show your personality, be creative. Again, with pictures, events, videos, reposting your blog posts, news, quizzes and polls, your sales. So many things that you can do. Keep it short. Link to longer content if it's necessary. You want to get the idea across in the first 2 sentences of the post.
So this is something where I've seen people post, and it's like paragraphs of information. I mean, really anything that's going to come up in somebody's feed, I guess you don't want to keep it as short as a Twitter post, but it should be somewhere around that, right?
Yeah, I think it should be somewhere around, maybe I like the first sentence or 2. You'll see some posts that are really, really short, which is fine, but I think a couple sentences at most, and then put a link, longer content to a note, or a link out to your blog or to a separate website, something like that.
Great.
And always ask for opinions and encourage involvement. And that could be as simple as saying, hey, we have a new product, and then add, what do you think about it?
Yeah.
Or something.
It's open-ended questions, and then people can comment right there. And we're gonna take a look at polls in a little bit, and that's another great way to get feedback.
Yeah, polls are a fantastic way to get feedback, and there's some really great free applications you can add to your page to do polls. The last point is monitor it daily and always respond. And we want to say you're going to get a lot of positive feedback on your page, but every now and then there might be something negative. Somebody can't please everybody, but still respond to everybody. You don't need to delete posts. People understand, but it's good. At least respond to them, and
And I mean, you kind of touched on this in the beginning, but it's somewhere with something like a negative post. You know, hey, it does happen, but you don't want to get into a shouting match.
Yeah.
The rule of thumb typically is just one response, right?
Yeah, give one response, and if they're still saying the same thing, exactly the same thing as the first response, then you're not going to get anywhere with that person.
Yeah, you're just going back and forth.
It's going to go back and forth. If they add something new to the conversation, then maybe give them another response, but don't keep going.
Yeah, it can kind of spiral out of control pretty quickly.
Yes.
All right.
Applications to enhance your page. That's one of the great things that you can get into once you have your page set up. These applications, there's, I don't know, thousands of them on Facebook. There's paid ones and there's free ones. Mm-hmm. Don't overdo it. Just choose a couple because they overload your page. Mm-hmm. It takes away from your other content if you have too many applications. But some of the really popular ones are contests and sweepstakes. If you have a Twitter account, YouTube, anything, things like that, you can link to those through applications. And especially for small businesses, and even more especially for local businesses, it's either best with adding Yelp or reviews to your site, mm-hmm. to your page, because people really appreciate that. And as a small business, if you haven't been to Yelp, go to Yelp.com. Your business is probably on there. You probably have a lot of reviews. Check it out. Claim your page.
Which is really straightforward and very easy to do.
Very easy.
That's also why we're not going through setting up your actual Facebook page, because they make it so easy. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna give you some information in the email following this presentation in a few days because of the Easter holiday. We're gonna send that out on Tuesday that you can expect that. But it'll have all the information you need and the links and resources and things like that so that you can get everything set up yourself. But with Yelp.com, very straightforward to claim your business page.
Absolutely. So if you want to go back to Facebook, let's show how you can add an application. Go back to the other. Yeah, back on this page. If you click on Edit Page, you'll get to this, and you go down on the left-hand side to Applications, to Apps, and this will show you the applications that you have on your page already. And Facebook puts most of those up there for you already. We've added YouTube, Twitter, and the Contact Us page. But if you click there at the bottom where it says Browse More Applications, this will give you everything that's on Facebook. And for businesses, it's easy just to click the Business tab and check there. You can search by most popular. The popular ones are usually the best ones. For example purposes, we're going to add a poll to our page. If you search for poll, it's the most popular one. It's the first one that comes up. So just like any other application, this is what your person pretty much going to see when you click on it. And then you want to just click go to application. And then it says accept the permissions. Mm-hmm. And you do want to read about these things before you accept them. Mm-hmm. We're running through it pretty quickly just because I've already looked at this. And then with this one, just click on Get Started. Let's get started.
Okay. So what this will do is just basically walk you through the process of setting up a poll. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and it works about the same as any other application. And then you just click on what you want to add it to. In this case, you want to click on your page. Mm-hmm. Let's make a poll.
Did you attend the webinar today?
That's great. And then this is set to default yes or no. You can change those things if you want to.
So then there's some other options down here to show their faces to friends. Like to unlock free and in-depth information? No. Okay. And then just create the poll.
Just create the poll, and it'll automatically post to the page. You can add another question there if you want. Add something about the poll. You don't have to. We're just going to post it like that. Publish. Mm-hmm. Okay. Always good applications always give you a couple choices to make sure that that's what you want to do before you go forward with it.
Okay, and that's
it. And that's it. And then you can go back to our page. The easiest way, I think, to go to your page is just to click on in the search bar, and like ours is 1 and 1. I hit 1, and it's the first result.
Perfect.
So, and there's the poll is right there on our page.
All right. We'll run over to, well, don't leave right now and go vote.
Don't
but
switch right now.
Make sure you vote at some point today so we can get some results.
Definitely do come back and check out our page sometime. Okay. Posting a lot of stuff like that.
So it seems like as far as what you can do, you know, we've kind of talked about all the things you can share with status questions, photos, links, videos. For a lot of those, you're going to have to either find the content or create the content yourself. Mm-hmm. Like if it's a video, you're going to have to create that content. You're going to have to post that up there. So that might be a little bit more difficult, a little bit more in-depth. But nonetheless, with these apps, it makes it a little bit easier, right? So it makes it a little bit easier to, in the end, make your page very interactive, and you don't have to know any coding. You know, it's so much easier than doing it on a website, right?
Yeah, it's really easy. Facebook walks you through everything. It's just a lot of times you run your mouse over it and it'll tell you what the option is. It's pretty simple. So you can, as soon as you play with it for a couple minutes, you'll figure the whole thing out.
Okay. So that was how you can add an app. You want to kind of walk through some of the resources here, and you don't have to write any of these down. We're going to send all of these out to you in the email that's going to follow up this presentation. Also, a common question we get is, will this be recorded? It is being recorded. We're going to post it to our YouTube page. We'll include that address in the email that you receive, and we're also going to share the slides on SlideShare. So you'll also receive a link to that too. So.
Yeah. So these are kind of some of the things that we went through today, and some great resources for at home later on, where you can go to create a page. Another great resource is the Facebook Pages help, because you can any question that you have is going to be answered in their frequently asked questions section. The application directory, this link will take you directly there. I also included a custom content application, which is a free application. We didn't really go through that today, but it's a little bit more advanced. It's simple to operate, but you can use this application to create a website within one tab on your Facebook page. So it's a pretty neat application for when you're at the next step. Maybe you're not quite at coding your own custom tab. This application will help you. It'll be good for a transition step there. And a great way to measure Facebook engagement is here at Social Media Examiner. That's one way that you can make sure that you're doing things right, and another metric that you can decide if that's one of your goals maybe.
Okay, great. So this, I think, is another great slide here, and this is something we'll also include all of these links in the email that goes out. It's going to be kind of a long email, so
yeah.
But it's going to have a lot of great resources, a lot of great information. I think as far as I know, for me, Mashable is probably the best site out there for getting social media information, and they make it really easy to understand.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good lists and things about how to set up your page, how to use it effectively, and it's a really, really great resource for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think they all are. Mashable is great. This is going to give you an overview of all social media tips. And again, just because an article might be about Twitter and not about Facebook, a lot of the same principles can be applied to both. So if you're interested, definitely go through and read all that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I think they also have a lot of great lists specifically for small businesses, which I think a lot of our attendees out there today probably are small to medium-sized businesses. So it's something to definitely keep in mind. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all we had as far as the presentation goes. What we really wanted to do is get to a lot of your questions. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I've had quite a few. If you want to, just go ahead and type your questions again in the question box on the right-hand side. We'll be taking those as they come in now. So go ahead. Looks like we've got a couple here to start. Can you have a donate button on Facebook? And I'm assuming he's asking as far as if you're a nonprofit organization, can someone click and donate directly to your organization?
Yeah, there are applications that can help you out with that. Of course, if you do your own custom tab, you can write, if you have somebody who can write the code for it, you can do that yourself. But there's also, I know for sure there's some applications. You can search the app marketplace, and there are some applications for nonprofits where they can add a donate or a follow my cause and things like that.
Okay, cool, great. So what's the difference in choosing a local business over a company? And I think this goes back to when we were first setting up the site. The page.
The big difference is if you're choosing a local business, it's also going to, you're going to put your address in, and it's also going to set you up on Facebook Places, which is kind of like Foursquare, where people can through mobile check in to your business to say that they were there.
Okay.
There are pros and cons to doing that. If you're a local business and you want people to be able to check in to you on Facebook, that's fine. The only big difference is that the landing page for your Facebook page is going to be your place to check in. It's not going to be the wall, which is what I typically recommend.
Okay, and yeah, that's something where, I mean, if you go to Google and just search for Facebook Places, you're going to be able to find some really good information as far as what you can do. I think it's a really good resource. A lot more people seem like they're using it now than were in the past, and it just continues to grow in popularity. So it's something that would be really good for a local business to get in on right now. Okay, so we've got another question from Amy Irwin. How do you make Facebook show a share button so that people or your fans can share again on their page? Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. Oops, lost the question here. Take a look at that. We haven't tried, but I see other businesses do and don't do it. So I guess the question is, how do you make a Facebook share button so that people can share your page?
So you mean to add that button to your website?
Exactly.
Add a share button to your website or an email or something like that.
Yeah.
You can search. I'm not sure if they have it under Facebook widgets.
Okay.
Possibly. If you put that into the Facebook search bar, it'll probably come up, and then it'll give you the code to add it to your page.
Okay, so what you would do is you would go to Facebook, you would look for the widget, and a widget is basically just a couple lines of HTML code.
Yeah.
And if you're building your website yourself, you would just put that code in directly, and that button would pop up so that when someone clicks on it, they would like your website, or you could also put in a link directly to your Facebook page from your website.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, take a look at a few more questions here. This is a really good question from Karen Clark. Do YouTube videos have to be your own, or can you embed other people's videos?
Well, it depends on the video itself, whether the video you want to post is copyrighted material or not. It depends on what the copyright is for sharing. But in general, if it's on Facebook, it's a social media. I mean, it's all about sharing. YouTube is about sharing. As long as you don't claim that it's your own video, you give credit to the person who created the video, usually you can share them. Okay, great.
Okay, so this is a really good question from Darren. If you have a newsletter, how do you include your Facebook links to send it to everyone? So I think this is and I think I said that, and what I meant to say is email newsletter. If you're sending out an email newsletter, just like you have links in there that probably go back to your website, I would say, one thing we always include in our newsletters that go out to our customers is, find us on Facebook, or we have a little Facebook link that says facebook.com/one-on-one, and then people can go there, and hopefully, that's just another way to drive traffic. If you were doing a paper newsletter, then I guess my recommendation would be that you can do the same thing. It's just that they couldn't click on it. They would have to actually type it into their browser, and then they would go to that, go to your page. So I think that's kind of where we're talking about, just to clear that up a little bit. So here's another one from Ed. Is it okay to have my business page connected to my personal page? Is there any reason not to do that? In other words, should my business page be totally separate? I don't think the two are ever really connected, right?
Well, as long as you have your personal account is one account and your business page is the page. You're not using your personal account as your business communication page.
Oh, okay. I see
right.
what you
So
mean.
your Facebook's terms and conditions say that you're not allowed to use a personal profile as a business page.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to keep them separate. You can link your personal. You can be an admin using your regular personal account to your Facebook page. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. But if I set up a business page, would somebody be able to find my personal page through that business page?
Only if you want them to.
Okay. Okay. So you can go into your settings and you can change your settings so that they won't see that those two things are connected.
Right. You can hide it. There's an option. We keep our admins hidden just so that it's not a secret, but it's just because it's something else to add to the page.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want, not that I post racy material or anything on my personal Facebook page, but at the same time, if I had a business, I wouldn't want people that are going to my business page to somehow, be able to go over to my personal page and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, so you can make that decision yourself. If you're the business owner and the business is, if maybe you're a personal speaker or something like that, and you are the business, then maybe you want to put yourself connected to the page. But you don't have to.
Okay. So here's another question from Paul. Would it be useful for a company rep to set up his or her own individual Facebook business page apart from their company? So this would be like if we had like a one-on-one internet Facebook page, but then you had like your own social media communications Facebook page.
I would recommend to just have one Facebook page for your business. You don't need to separate it for individual people or departments, or I think it's best to keep it together.
Have one voice.
To have one voice for the whole company. We have a couple different pages. We have a different page for each country, but that's mostly because we offer different products in different countries and different languages.
Okay. So I see here we've got a question from Robert. Are there any facilities, I assume he means an application, from Facebook to translate language from English to other languages?
I'm not sure.
There's probably an application where it's somewhat of a translation tool, but yeah, I'm not sure that it would translate the entire page over. It might be just like on a one-off basis. But I mean, you could use Google Translate to do something like that if you wanted to have a post in Spanish and then maybe a post in English. It might be like a workaround. You'd have to cut and paste, but
yeah.
Here's a question from Vanessa. Can the Facebook page be mainly a comment page where people brag about having received your service, like it's a status symbol to have received the service? Yes, if you wanted to, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, if you just wanted to, I mean, and that does happen naturally. I mean, like I know I went to, I've got a BMW, and I went to the site, and everybody was there taking pictures of their BMW and posting it, and then also talking about how great it was. And there are a few people talking about how expensive they are to maintain, which is another issue for another day. But yeah, I mean, overall, people were just naturally doing it. You could maybe ask people to do it, I guess.
You can definitely ask people for their feedback, and when you do ask people for their feedback, usually it will be positive, but always err on the side of caution. Be expecting there's always somebody who has a complaint about something.
It seems like there always is. Okay. Okay, so this is a couple more questions here. Here's one from Tim. When should you create an ad? Are they effective? Does it work regionally or by categories of likes, and who will it target? We didn't really get into advertising too much on Facebook. I think we talked more about just like the content creation side. But, I mean, you did talk a little bit about it in the beginning. A lot of people are advertising on Facebook.
Yes, a lot of people are advertising on Facebook. A lot of what it does is attract more fans to your page. So, of course, when you have more fans, you're more likely to get more sales out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You can target Facebook advertising to whatever you want. They give you a lot of options.
Yeah.
But exactly how it works and how it'll work for your business, how you want it to work, that depends on how you set it up.
Mm-hmm.
You could check out some information on Facebook about their ads. They provide a ton of information about that.
Yeah.
That's probably the best resource, because without knowing exactly how your business works and where you want to go with it, I'm not sure how to answer that.
I've seen some advertising vouchers, too, that they give out in magazines and things like that. So, I mean, you could probably – I think I saw one in Inc. or Entrepreneur last month, but it seems like they always have like $50 or $75 free to get you started and you set up your ad account. So that might be a good idea if you see a voucher like that to, take advantage of it. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up. There are a few more questions we didn't get to. We'll definitely answer those questions. Christine will be taking care of those for you. And we apologize. We kind of ran out of time here, but we hope you enjoyed the webinar overall. We really enjoyed presenting it to you today. Like I said, we're going to be sending you out an email next Tuesday that's going to have a ton of great information. We're going to be posting the video to YouTube, the slides to SlideShare. So you're going to have all this content so you can go back and review. Hope we didn't go too fast. I know it was a lot of information to go over, but wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you, Christine, for presenting all this great information.
Thanks again for having me, Aaron. And, of course, we'll answer your questions however you send us to them. But if you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/1in1, I can answer your questions about this webinar, about our services, anything that you want now and any other time.
All right, cool. Well, everybody have a great weekend, and we look forward to talking to you next time in the next My Business Site webinar coming up on Thursday. You'll receive some information about that also in the email for next week. So thanks a lot, everybody, and have a great day.